Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today we are going to create a simple REST API using Flask in Python. I will guide you step by step from creating the virtual environment to implementing CRD operations to manage users. This video is intended for those who already have basic Python knowledge. First, we will create a folder for our project. We will call it Backend, and from the terminal, we will move to this folder with the command cd backend. Inside this folder, let's create a virtual environment with the command virtual env python3 env. This will create an env folder containing the Python dependencies for this project. To activate the environment in the terminal, run./nv/script/activate. This ensures that any packages we install stay inside the environment. Now we install Flask with pip install Flask. With this, we now have everything we need to create our API. In the backend folder, we are going to create a source folder and inside it an app.py file. This file will contain the code of our API. Now, let's write the code in our app.py file. We import Flask and two important functions. JSON API converts Python data into a JSON response. Request allows to get data sent by the client, as in the case of POST or PUT requests. Now we create an instance of the Flask application. Name tells Flask where to find the files and settings. We are going to create simulated data. Here we define a list called users that contains dictionaries with user information. It is our temporary database and stores the name and age of each user. Now let's create a route /users with the method get to get all the users. The function getUsers is executed when someone visits /users. It returns the list of users in JSON format using Sonify. We are going to start the server in debug mode, which facilitates development by displaying errors in the terminal when something goes wrong. Now let's test the code. In the terminator, type python/source/app.py. Now we will use a HTTP client such as Thunder client. This will help us to populate the responses we send back to our endpoints. We will copy the address http 127.0/1.3000 and paste it in the input above. We add a /users to test the endpoint we just declared. When making the request, we receive the simulated data in a JSON format, so our declared path works as expected. Now let's create a route to get a specific user, int user ed. This parameter in the URL allows you to specify the ed of a user. Flask automatically converts this value to an integer. Next, it searches the users list for a user with the given ed. If not found, returns none. If the user is not found, an error message with HTTP code 4 to force not found is returned. Let's go back to Thunder client, and this time try adding parameter 1, and we will get the specific user in JSON format that we have specified as a parameter. If we enter the ed of a user that does not exist, we will get the message, user not found. So the route works as expected. Now we are going to create a route to create a user, and this time we will use the POST method. Request get JSON true gets the JSON data sent in the request. In the variable new user, we are creating a new dictionary. As first property, we assign a new id to the user. If users already has elements, it takes the last id and adds 1. Data get name and data get age. Gets the name and age of the user from the JSON sent in the request. Users append new user adds the new user to the users list. Return sonify new user 2000 returns the user with HTTP code 21, indicating that a new resource was created. Let's go back to Thunder client. We will change the method to post, and in the body of the request, we will send an object with the properties, name and age. If everything is correct when making the request, then we will receive the same object with its unique id as a response. Now let's create the route that will be in charge of updating a user. The method dataGetName. Username will update the name if a new one was sent. If not, it keeps the current value. In the same way, the method dataGetAge. User age will update the value or keep the current value. If the user does not exist, we will return an error message and the code 404 if the user is not found. We return to Thunder client, and in the method we will change it to put, and as parameter we will pass the id3. In this case, we will modify the name to Marcos. If everything goes well, we will receive as answer the object with the updated name property. As last route, we are going to create a route that is in charge of deleting a user. In global users, we indicate that we are going to modify the users list globally. In the user variable, we are going to filter the list to exclude the user with the specified id. Finally, we are going to return a confirmation message and the HTTP 200 code to indicate success. Let's go back to Thunder client. We will modify the method to delete, and as a parameter, we will pass the user id we want to delete. In this case will be the id3. If everything goes correctly, we will receive the confirmation message in the request. And that's it. We have created a basic API using Flask in Python. Now you have a CRUD structure that you can expand and customize to your needs. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the content, and see you in the next video.